Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chaile Time. Toby, welcome. And how are you?
Thank you very much. Good. I had a bit of a flu, but no time for sitting in bed. I had my moment, but in bed. But life is going on.
Yes.
Yesterday I did a marathon hearings from 8 in the morning till 9 in the evening. Illegal striking drivers. We'll be talking about that today. But anyway, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good myself. Been busy also. Yesterday I was doing policy implementation of which that's a story for another day that I want to raise with you. I have a few questions on that, and then I did a section 189 with another company also. But yeah, been doing well, hearings here and there. CCMA case last week, which also...
Oh, that case went well.
Yeah, positive.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Tsepo, we're talking about strikes today. What it is, what it's not. And the message is really mostly for employees, what constitutes a strike. And maybe then just some suggestions for employers when dismissing staff for going on an unprotected or illegal strike. It comes to memory a labor court judge saying, just the fact that somebody went on an illegal strike in itself doesn't mean you must now dismiss this person.
Yeah.
Because there are some substantive factors that you must take into consideration. But anyway, let me just tell you the story quickly. Yes, it's interesting, eh? Okay, so it's in the logistics industry. The large trucks and whatever the case may be. So management made an error in payroll. So here we have cross-border drivers, going to Maputo and Mozambique and Zimbabwe and whatever the case may be. And at a certain date, a month or so ago, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock that evening, the SMSs came through for your salary payment. And suddenly, there's like thousands short. Where the guys are used to getting like 25,000 and out, now they're only getting like 19,000, So obviously it hurts, man, you see, the heart is now sore. So like in the hearings, the guys are saying, they were so emotionally hurt that they couldn't drive, they were concerned they're going to make an accident or something. Anyway, they immediately tools down. Went to park the cars, immediately tools down. But management immediately found them and sent them a lot of messages on WhatsApp. Operations managers, they will speak to the staff. They phoned them. Even the CEO himself phoned the staff. HR got involved immediately after realizing this mistake. Telling the guys, listen, we're on it right now. You know what? Same day still, they got paid the difference.
So now the tools down, how long did it last?
Well, it lasted for anything from 18 to 22 hours.
Oof.
And the company begged him. Now, unfortunately for the company, they've been going through a bit of a tough time. They've not been profitable for a while now. And one day, basically, let's say 24 hours of tools down, cost them, they lost about 700,000 Rand in direct costs and sales and so. And then we're not even talking about indirect costs and whatever, So, and they have sent like 5 communications to the staff informing them that they are busy with the illegal strike in terms of the Labour Relations Act, asking them to continue. We are working on the pay immediately. Same day, they still got their monies. Begging them, telling them the company is losing out on money, and even giving them an ultimatum. No, they will not.
So what did the drivers have to say for themselves yesterday when you were...
So I did the hearings, and what's quite interesting is what the drivers tells me is they actually love the company. There's never, when they saw the short pay, they were so shocked because there's never issues in the company. The company is compliant with the bargaining council. They pay all their monies. They actually boast to other companies about how good their HR is. And they've never had an issue. And this company really, and this is what the staff is telling me, that the company really looks well after them. But that's why they were so shocked. There's like, this is the first time ever, like something going wrong in this company. This is not what the staff tells me.
None.
But not a single one of them admitted guilt to participating in an illegal strike, even though the company proved, and in the hearing, they agree they stopped driving for, let's say, about 24 hours. And they saw all the messages, but in their mind, it's not an illegal strike.
But my question also would be, the company is so nice to us, it's paying us well, and then we are doing well, and then this is the first time this such thing of such nature is happening. And then immediately when I get a call that, you know that we've been good to you, this is going to be fixed. Why didn't they get into their trucks and start working? Yes, I understand that they are shocked for a moment, but give the company the benefit of the doubt, because you know what is that they are capable of. They've been good, they bragging to other people that we're working for a good company. Now there's an error, and then you are called immediately and say, no, it's going to be fixed. Why don't you trust the company and get back and do your job?
You know, Tsepo, there's always this one person.
The rain leader.
And you know what? They exist in all aspects of life. They're there.
CIC. Commander-in-Chief.
Hey, don't go there. So, there's this one guy. He immediately sent 38 WhatsApp voice notes, being unhappy and asking others to join him in this strike. Well, they don't say strike, but tools down. We're not going to drive, blah, blah, blah. We will not do it. You must sort out the pay. We don't hear and we don't accept management's excuses, you know. So the company in the hearing said, but we just want to note and highlight that you immediately sent 38 WhatsApp voice notes. So he's like, yeah, is it now wrong to communicate? So the company said, no, it's not wrong to communicate. The point they are trying to make is you had internet connection. You can't say you didn't receive our messages. You clearly did receive our messages because you were quite active on WhatsApp. Yeah. And the company begged them 5 times. Please continue driving. We contact you from the moment that pay button was pressed. We assured you, HR assured you, HR phoned you, operations manager phoned you, even the acting executive phoned them and the CEO phoned them. The acting executive even drove through to one location in Middelburg to actually meet these guys. And by the time he got there, they were paid already. But they still refused to actually start the trucks and start working. So, but interesting, Tsepo. Everyone pleaded not guilty, and everyone told me no, they were not involved in a strike. But they all agreed that they're tools down. So I was curious, man. You know, as a chairperson, you can't get involved too much.
Yeah.
You know, you can't enter into the arena too much. But I was curious. So what I did is now I'm recording all these hearings. So after the one hearing, finish recording whatever, as a guy walked out, I just say, sir, in your mind, what does it mean to be in a strike? Because I've read you the law. Let me read you the law. Section 213, that's 213 of the Labor Relations Act. Now, Section 213 of the Labor Relations Act deals with definitions. The definition of a strike is as follows. A strike is defined as the partial or complete concerted refusal to work. Basically a work stoppage, né? Or the retardation or obstruction of work. So if you obstruct other people to work. By persons who are of or have been employed by the same employer or by different employers. For the purposes of remedying a grievance or resolving a dispute in respect of any matter of mutual interest between the employer and the employee. So it's basically a work stoppage to deal with a grievance. Now there are 2 forms of strikes, the legal one and the illegal one. Okay, so the legal strike, obviously you deal with your consultations, your grievances with the company. If you're not satisfied, you go to the CCMA for conciliation. You apply for the rules of the strike and give 48 hours written notice, and there you go. Yeah. But just work stoppage illegally is defined as a strike. So I asked this guy, sir, now in your mind now, how will it look like if you have to consider yourself of being on a strike? You know what he told me? No, I will park the trucks, I'll get myself tires, I'll burn it, and I will damage company property. and I will be picketing outside. So I'm like, I couldn't tell you, but I was laughing inside. But I felt so proud to South African. I'm like, yeah, man, this is how we do it. This is how strikes is, man, you know? It's like, this is not a strike, this is a strike. Strike is not a work stoppage and having some tea.
No,
No.
it's a toy.
It's a toy, man. And there are trucks and there are tires burning and we're throwing stones through the windows. That's a strike. So none of them were involved with the strike. Because they didn't burn anything.
Yeah.
They didn't get to burn anything, man, Chepo.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess that is why you said you are here now. You are directing the message to employees so that they can understand what is really.
If you refuse to work, if you stop working, you're on a strike to resolve a grievance. You're a strike, man. But now, I want to ask the audience here also, now, especially now for employers now, this part is now more for the employers. These are the facts. Do you think we can dismiss these drivers? And I'm not going to say my view, but just some pointers here. This is the facts of the matter. Management made a mistake with payroll. The SMSs for payment went through on that day, the evening between 8 and 9 o'clock. Management immediately contacted the staff on WhatsApp and on phone to inform them of the mistake, that they are fixing it. That next morning, monies were paid. Okay. So within that 24-hour period,
The matter was resolved.
Meaning there were no real prejudice to the employees. There was no losses really to the employees. Okay, there was about 5 instances of communications whereby the company informed them of them participating in an illegal strike. They could be disciplined and be dismissed, and asked them to continue driving. They refused. An ultimatum came out only at about 12:56 to say, listen, you have 15 minutes to start driving. Otherwise, there's been action be taken against you. One driver actually adhered to the ultimatum and started driving. One guy. He actually did. So I'm obviously not going to dismiss this guy because he actually adhered to the ultimatum. The prejudice on the company, they lost about 700,000 in income. They're already running at a loss for quite a few months now. That's the circumstances. Yeah. Now some tips quickly. There's this case, National Union of Metal Workers, NUMSA, versus CBI Electric African Cables, where the Labour Court basically quoted the Code of Good Practice and highlighted the important elements in considering whether a dismissal is justified for illegal strike. There's another case study which I was already mentioned, that just the fact that you were on an illegal strike doesn't mean automatic you must dismiss it.
You must be dismissed, yeah.
You must still look at the substantive elements of fairness, Is there a rule in place? Is the rule reasonable? Are the employees, or should they have been aware of the rule?
The rules, yeah.
Was there a breach of the rule? You must remember the principle of consistency. Is the rule consistently applied to all staff? And then is the dismissal a reasonable outcome? But what the law also, what this case also say, is that the Labour Appeal Court set out a test for substantive fairness when it comes to unprotected strikes. Number 1, item 6 of the Code of Good Practice deals with substantive fairness of strike dismissals and provide as follows. Dismissal and industrial action. Participation in a strike that does not comply with the provisions of Chapter 4, it is misconduct. So if you are participating in an illegal strike, in terms of the definition, employee, if you are stopping and refusing to work because of your grievances, you are part of a strike and probably part of an unprotected strike, okay? It is misconduct. However, like any other act of misconduct, it does not always deserve a dismissal. The substantive fairness of dismissal in these circumstances must be determined in the light of the facts of the case, including the following factors. Number 1, the seriousness of the contravention of the Labour Relations Act. In other words, when you apply for, there's a process to apply for a protected strike. So, how serious are your breach towards compliance with the Act? Number 2, to what extent did you attempt to comply with the requirements of the Act? And number 3, whether or not the strike was in response to unjustified conduct by the employer. And that is quite important. From a mitigating perspective, it seems like the courts are a bit more lenient when it comes to dismissals when the strike was sort of caused by the wrongdoing of the employer, especially when the employer conduct himself in bad faith.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes staff will raise their grievances. You know, employers will not, in good faith,
Attend to them.
attend to them. You know, then the staff go on a strike. You know, it's difficult to dismiss staff under those circumstances if the employer was found not to act in good faith. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to this relationship, you know. And employers can sometimes be very hard, cold, and one-sided because they only look at, what do you say, the zeros?
The
no?
zeros, yes.
Now, they only look at the zeros. You want to strike? You cost me money? But it doesn't matter the fact that you're trying to talk to me and I didn't talk back. I don't want to talk to you. No.
You
cost
strike,
me money.
you on
You're on
strike.
strike. Because it says illegal strike, you're dismissed.
Yeah.
You
So now,
should, yeah?
your view in your current case.
But I'm not done. There's one more here. Prior to dismissal, the employer should issue an ultimatum in clear and unambiguous terms that should state what is required of the employees and what sanction will impose if they do not comply with the ultimatum. There's this one court case here. I just want to mention that also quickly, you know, because people like it when we are intelligent and smart and academic and give them all the cases. You see, they like it. You know, they think we're very clever. We are clever. But I mean, yeah, it
They
sounds
think we're
nice.
very clever, we are clever.
Yeah,
Which
anyway.
one are we?
Yeah. So in Medici and others versus Steve Spar Blackheath, no? The Labour Appeal Court said an ultimatum is, unlike a disciplinary inquiry, not directed at establishing the existence of an offence and then imposing a sanction. It is in the first place a device for getting strikers back to work. It presupposes the unlawfulness of the strike, otherwise it could not be given, but it does not sanction the misconduct of the strikers. It is as much a means of avoiding a dismissal as a prerequisite to effecting one. So it's a way of trying to avoid dismissing the staff.
It's a remedy.
Here's an ultimatum, start working. We've now communicated with you, we've informed you with illegal strike, disciplinary action may follow, here's an ultimatum. So it's a way of trying to prevent the dismissal, okay? The point is that both under the 1956 LRA regime and under the present one, the question of dismissing a striker can only logically arise after non-compliance with the ultimatum. So the ultimatum is quite obviously important, and employees should be given reasonable time to respond to the ultimatum. Now, in my case, they only had 15 minutes. So, would a dismissal be fair? Mistake by the company. Company immediately, on all levels, responded to staff.
And communicated.
And
And
immediately
reached out.
rectified it within the next few hours, within 24 hours, all outstanding money paid. Staff simply refused. Begged them, asked them, informed them about the illegal actions, the disciplinary consequences, the ultimatum. Staff still refused.
Because of
But it
this-
was still a mistake by the company.
Yes.
It's still a factor to consider. Company lost 700,000 rand. Do you think a dismissal is justified? Even the staff, also important staff saying there's never going anything wrong in this company. This management is good for them. They even boast at other companies how good the HR is. What do you think? What do you think? Is a dismissal justified?
I think they can be given a second chance, but now my worry is the loss that the company has suffered already.
The disciplinary code of the company, and they get a training manual. The rule is clear.
It's a dismissible offense.
Illegal strikes are unacceptable. It's misconduct, and on the first offense, a dismissal is justified. Code of conduct is clear. Disciplinary code is clear. Let's not prejudge the case. I must still do the report. So we can still think about this. I don't know what the viewers feel. Do you think a dismissal is justified under the circumstances?
Maybe they must
Love
put
to
it on
hear your
comments.
view on this.
Yeah.
Let's not try to speculate now. I'll still apply my mind, go through the case. Because there are a number of factors to take into consideration. It is a first offense for the drivers. You have to take that consideration. They've been with the company for a few years. There was something wrong with their pay. But something that I'm leaning towards is the issue of prejudice. There was no real prejudice in employees.
The employees.
There was nothing really. I mean, and the company did conduct with him in good faith. I mean, there wasn't any bad motives here, whatever the case may be. The company's prejudice was substantial. If your employer is so good, don't you think they deserve some mercy?
Yeah, they do.
Eh? Anyway, Chepo, that's all today.
Okay, I think it will be best if we get your views on the comment section.
Yeah, what will you do?
so that
Do we
we can
fire
review.
their asses or do we give them second chances like this man is saying?
Yeah, your views I think will be important so that we can interact in that. And then yeah, we'll also when you are done with your finding, you will also put a comment on the
Yeah, we'll see.
comment section.
But anyway, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Don't forget to like and
You must
subscribe.
like and subscribe.
Thank you very much. See you
Okay.
next time. It's Chaile time.
Bye-bye.